Ricky, obviously second game of the Premiership Rugby Cup and a chance for you to build on what was a pretty good performance last week, albeit in defeat.
Yeah, look, obviously the result didn't quite go away, but for long periods of time we were in it, and we fought really hard to one, build the lead to start with, and then to be in and around it, get into 60 minutes was really pleasing. I think this week we've just come back in, reset, we've looked at a couple of little tweaks around our set piece and our attack in terms of our reloads and be able to get back and create space. And if we can add that to what was a real solid base from the weekend, we're in a strong position. And we're going up to Gloucester, we know it's going to be a real tough challenge away from home. It's going to be one of those games that are going to really test us, but we're in a really good position mentally and also how we've prepped this week as well.
The youngsters will learn so much from a performance like last weekend. I guess the biggest learn will be how to control that game. Like you say, they were trying 14-0 up, 10 points up, just banging that home a little bit further, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think we knew how Bristol were going to play. We knew that they were going to come out and they're going to run the ball from their exits, and we maintained that for quite a long period of the time in the game. It's just then around maintaining that, keeping on our toes defensively, shifting and being fluid around the breakdown. And a couple of times we just got broke. We scrambled back really well, and then obviously what they did do, they did squeeze us around their set piece a little bit, and that's been our focus this week. Is if we can nail that down with a few little other areas, we're in a good position.
The work rate, the enthusiasm, the commitment from all the guys there was there in spades, wasn't it? And you can't ask for more than that as a coach.
Yeah, we talked afterwards in the change room we got inside is that we could be proud of the performance that we put in. There's a lot of fight and a lot of energy and a lot of will to work hard for each other. If you have that as a base, one, that will get the crowd behind you, and you could hear that in terms of how they were supporting us. But two, it gives you the base to then build. I think that's for me now is that we've got that base for this week and we've just got to add those little bits on top.
You called it after the game an old school Exeter Chiefs performance, and as you say, the fans got behind you. First time in a long while fans have really made their voice here at Sandy Park. You have to give them something to get excited about. Yeah,
definitely. I think, look, we're trying to do that in the Premiership. I just think we're just coming a little bit sticky around our performances. Like, for periods of games in the Premiership, we are there and the crowd are behind us and they're seeing that we are passionate. And the guys in those games are working really hard. Cannot fault them. It just probably we're not maintaining that for periods in games. I just thought at the weekend that young group who haven't played together actually showed, for long periods of that game, the fight that we look for. And I think it's across the board in our squad. It just obviously was there for a little bit more in longer periods than we have seen probably a little bit in the Premiership.
You also talked last week about getting these guys back in an Exeter Chiefs jersey. They've been playing, these young guys, but seeing them back, they're making good strides, some of them. The development is there, clear to see. Yeah,
and that's a big credit to the loan clubs. They have played a lot of rugby. Even when they come out of COVID, you think they wouldn't be playing without having an A-League competition. But they've been at their loan clubs and developing there. Cornish Pirates, Taunton, Plymouth Albion, and a few other clubs sprinkling around that have really now pushed them on. They're getting minutes, which is important for young players. And then what they did do, was probably the question that we had as a group of coaches. They came in and then transferred what they're doing at the loan clubs into a game in a Chiefs shirt, and that's really pleasing. And what they've got to do now is just take a few learns from the weekend around how we play and manage games and how we look to build performances. And if we do that, which I know they will do, and they've learnt in the week around our reviews, we'll go up to Gloucester now in a real strong position.
We played Gloucester a couple of weeks in the Premiership ago, and now you would have seen footage of them last week where they trounced back, let's be honest. What are you expecting?
I think firstly, if you looked at their set piece, they've got a strong set piece. They look to play off that in terms of striking with their backs, either going to the wide channels and really stretching you. So we've worked and talked around how we stop their set piece momentum. And then if you look at it across their squad, whatever side they do decide to put out, they've got an exciting back three, and we've got to be aware of that. They are a kicking side that will exit with blues and then look for kicks with advantage. So we've talked around that, and we just got to defensively, physically stand up in front of them like we did against Bristol for long periods of time. And then when we've got the ball, we've got to then create opportunities for space. And if you do multi-phase against them, space will come up, and then we're just picking the right ones.
Team news wise, you said you reward the group from last week and give them another shot, but I imagine there's others that come into the mind as well in terms of selection.
Yeah, we had a really big discussion on Saturday night after the performance around obviously a group of players coming back in that have rested, and whether we integrate some of those players into it, whether the guys that were on the bench that came in and performed and perform well, whether they step up. I think we're going to keep it the same group of players, in terms of that squad. Maybe sprinkle of 1 or 2 coming in and stepping up or stepping out. But I do think that group of players now will use these 2 weeks to step on and move forward in terms of performances, but also then to grow as a group. So the squad will roughly stay around the same, I think, for this weekend.